Hi everybody! Welcome back to another episode of the Boss Ravioli Queens with your three favorite hosts, Nicole Ravioli,
Boss Lady Amy,
and Jasmine the Queen.
So today is not going to be as lighthearted as we have been because September is the month for Unaliving Yourself Awareness. So that's what we'll be talking about today, and probably some personal experiences because I know we've all got them.
Yeah.
We use the humor to cope.
Yep, sure do. Before we get into the episode, we should probably do a little ding, shameless plug.
It's all you, girl.
We're your three favorite caregivers, and if you haven't heard of us before, you can go take a listen on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts other than Apple because we're poor. So we do videos and information and funny content related to healthcare, trending topics, and anything that relates to our little healthcare corner of the world. We all have a background in healthcare, and yeah, we started a podcast about it. So anyway, ding, shameless plug over.
I feel like it would have been perfect if you would have dabbed with me, but with the opposite way.
We can try that again later.
Okay. Probably not in this episode.
No.
No? Oh, you're gonna dab up?
Wait, I could dab down.
Okay, but there's only two directions for that. Why can't you just leave my idea the way it is, Amy?
Hang outside.
Okay, anyways, sorry y'all. Again, we use humor to cope with literally everything.
Literally.
Sure do.
So, unaliving your self-awareness.
Yeah, so as it was said previously, I think we all have experience with this in one way or another. Whether it's having those thoughts ourselves or even attempts or having loved ones that have thoughts or attempts, so yeah.
I also feel like it's necessary to point out that just because someone has ideations about unaliving themselves does not mean that they're going to follow through with it. Obviously, they still need a support system, but I guess it's more important to talk about the signs.
It's, yeah, you have to know, like, when you actually need to act versus when someone's just going through it. Like, all the time we say, like, oh yeah, I feel that way, but we don't actually feel that way. Like, it's just, we all have ADHD, we all have impulses.
Intrusive thoughts.
We all have intrusive thoughts.
And struggles that, sometimes we're just like, oh my god, it would be so much easier if I just wasn't around.
Yeah.
But it's not actually, like, that's not true.
Like, I literally can't even, like, count the amount of times where I've been on the phone with either one of you and been like, I just want to unalive myself. I don't want to do this anymore.
But
I'm not being serious about it, and they know that.
I think we should talk about, like...
Or the intrusive thoughts of wanting to drive and be like, yeet!
Right into the guardrail or right off the cliff.
Yeah.
Anybody who's neurodivergent or struggles with mental health, you know exactly what we're talking about. I think we should go through the signs of, like, when a person is actually trying to unalive themselves.
So usually it starts with some sort of, like, telling the people closest to you that you love them and, like, trying to give away your things. I think that's always step number one, but that's also the biggest red flag.
And there's kind of, like, a high, too, of, like, them being, like,
super
extra
cheerful.
happy and super cheerful, like, everything seems fine. Because they're basically, like, trying to hide the fact that they're going to do this.
Either that or they're they feel like they're finally going to get that relief.
Yes.
You know?
So for them it's a feeling of, like, euphoria, and for everybody else it's a worrisome thing.
Well, if you catch the sign, if you know what it means. If you don't know what it means, you're just like, oh, they're doing, like, so much better.
Like they're feeling so much better finally.
Yeah.
After being so depressed for so long. It's like, no, that's actually a huge red flag.
Yeah. That's bad. Bad.
Yeah. That's pretty much, like, kind of it. Like, they give away their things, they get, like, really happy, and then usually it's
also,
kind of
like
isolation.
they talk about, being unalive.
Right, like, if
Yeah.
I weren't, like, here, like, oh, what would you do if I,
And then it's, like, hard to get a hold of them,
Yes.
like, the day of,
Yeah.
because they're, like...
They've
like,
already planned this for, like, probably months.
Yeah, so they cut
honestly.
themselves off from, like, everybody.
they
then.
isolate, and that's kind of like when it, like, switches.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. So those are, like, the main, honestly, like, all of the flags. Obviously, if you or someone you know is going through something like that, be there for them the best that you can. But, and I feel like it's really hard when it's someone close to you to, like, call and do, like, a wellness check or something, because you know that they're probably going to be mad at you because in that moment they did not want to live anymore. But trust me, do the wellness check call. If you're that worried about it, do the wellness check call, because
For
they
sure.
will be taken somewhere where they can get some help and come out usually better. I know that our system is flawed severely, but there are still good people that work in institutions like that that do actually want to make a difference in people's lives and help them. I was one of them.
I think it's probably important to note too that, like, unaliving yourself comes in all shapes and sizes, and just because somebody isn't talking about, like, hurting themselves in a way, there are still people who are doing that all the time, especially, like...
You mean like SH? Or other things?
Like, addiction.
Yeah.
And, like, because there are some people that, even when they're, like, in active addiction, it's strictly with the goal of unaliving themselves. And other, like, ways of SH as well. So, again, just, like, more things to watch out for, because it's not always super obvious. It doesn't always just come right out.
No, if it was easy, a lot of more people would be saved.
Truth. Also, I feel like we should probably plug the hotline number as well. And maybe some addiction ones as well.
Yep. Yeah. If you're struggling, like Miss Ravioli was saying, reach out to your local crisis number, a friend, anybody that might listen. And even if it's somebody that you don't think is going to listen, you never know.
Honestly, yeah, sometimes talking to a stranger might be easier than talking to your loved ones.
So we're gonna get personal.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, I was married to a piece
Psychopath.
of human garbage. When we were going through, like, the separation and divorce and everything, I think it was shortly after I had packed up his clothes and everything was just sitting in the living room waiting for him to come, like, take it. There was multiple times throughout that I really wanted to, but there was one time in particular where I was really actually going to. And, like, at that time I was still on my meds, my pharmaceutical meds, so that was the plan. I was just going to down them and, like, not be here anymore. I spent the entire day writing my letters. My mom called me, and she told me she was coming over, and I was like, in my head I was like, why? Because, like, I didn't want to deal with it. I just wanted to not be here anymore. So, she showed up at my house, and I answered the door, and she was like, what's wrong? Because she knew. It's my mom. So I told her everything, and, like, I showed her the letters, and we had a big old cry fest, because that's what we do. And she called my other best friend at the time to come over, because she knew that I needed her as well. Yeah, if my mom wouldn't have showed up at my house, I wouldn't be here anymore.
Shout out to Mama Ravioli.
Thanks, Mom.
Saving lives.
Saving lives. Yeah. But, so back to, like, talking to strangers instead of people close to you. For me, it was... I didn't want to hurt those closest to me. Because, like, when my mom and my best friend at the time and I were talking about everything, I could see it in their faces that they were, like, so pained and sad. Because obviously, like, they knew that if they wouldn't have shown up, I would not be here anymore. I hate having to censor my words. Can we please have freedom of speech back on the internet? For the most part, anyways. Like, obviously, there's some things that shouldn't be said, but... Anyways, I saw it on their faces, and that unalived me inside. Like, it was not easy by any means, so I think... what you guys said with talking to someone that you're not close with, honestly, that might be the better option, because that was really, really, really effing hard. Really hard. And I never, ever, ever, ever want to put anybody through that ever again.
Yeah.
So there's my personal story. I've got enough of those. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, you're gonna make me cry, bro.
I know. I'm like over here tearing up. Like, it's fine though. We're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
It's fine.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
You right? Okay. Do you want to go next, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's okay, Jasmine. We're all here. So I have never personally attempted, but the intrusive thoughts have been there for a very, very, very long time.
Honestly, same for me. The thoughts have been there, but I've never, like, attempted it.
I did used to self-harm, a lot.
Samesies.
When I was, like, preteen and teenager, because I had this one person who made my life a living hell when I was, literally, I met him in kindergarten, and I don't even call it bullying, I call it, like, harassment. It was straight up harassment, and he harassed me all the way until we were seniors in high school. And, like, so, like, he used to do just, like, awful things. Because I was in, like I said, I literally grew up with this person. So, like, one of the first encounters I ever remember having with him in kindergarten was, like, well, everybody was napping, and, like, the teacher was out of the room because she thought we were napping. Like, he literally got up, and he started, like, chasing me around with this, like, pillow, and he was, like, hitting me really hard, and, like, and I was, like, really trying to, like, get away from him, and then that was, like, one of the first instances. And then I remember when I was in third grade, I think, we were, like, at the top of this hill, like, on the playground at recess, and I, like, raced him to the top, and we were just, like, laughing or whatever, and I, like, playfully, like, pushed him out of the way. I didn't, like, actually push him, and he got so mad at me that he literally, like, slammed me down, and he slammed my head into, like, the ice, like, the top of the, like, ice slide or whatever. And then I remember, like, the teacher was, like, down below, and she was like, is everything okay up there? And I was about to tell her what happened. And he looked at me and he said, if you ever tell anybody about this, I will KILL you. And, yeah. Oh, and then in fifth grade.
How old were y'all when that happened?
I was in
What
third
a little sociopath.
I was in third grade. And then in fifth grade, he literally pushed me down a flight of stairs. I sprained my ankle.
Dang, murder in the making.
Yeah, and my entire class, like, just stood there and watched. And so for, like, years, like, this person just absolutely harassed me And he used to tell me all the time, like, my mom should have never gone through with having me, and, like, oh, you should have stuck a hanger up there, and just, like, all kinds of stuff. And so, yeah, because of this person, I very much had lots of intrusive thoughts about ideation while I was growing up, and it was awful. I hope he has the life that he deserves. Yeah, he's the reason that I have a lot of PTSD, and he's the reason that I just, like, automatically assume that most people hate me, because he planted that seed for, like, 13 straight years.
Oh yeah, we're aware.
We're aware.
Especially
I know
when
you're
you just
aware.
started, like, crying in the car that one day.
I know you're aware.
We were so taken back by that.
I mean, like, half the time, I don't even realize, like, just how far I am, like, down the rabbit hole until, like, something happens that triggers it, and then I'm like, oh, I've been in survival mode this whole time. And then, like, it's so easy for me to just go right back to that. Like, it's so easy.
It is easy to fall into it.
Do you mind if we share that story real fast?
Sure.
Okay, so I think we were karaoke, right? We were either on our way there or on our way back.
We were on our way back from a show, I think, weren't we?
No, dropping off the dogs.
Oh, that's right before we went
Yeah.
to emo night. Okay.
Yep.
So, we were in the car for, what, like 4 hours that day? Because it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back?
Yeah.
And Jasmine and I share looks, because we have, like, telepathy, as do we with Amy. But
Amy was in the back seat, so.
Yes. And when Amy does something that we think is funny or, like, cute or whatever, we'll just be like... Like, that's the look. So, I don't remember what Amy said, but Jasmine and I did the look, and Amy thought that we literally were, like, making fun of her, or, like, that we, it's okay.
I know.
That we, like, we're not okay with her, like, we hated her, kind of thing.
Yeah, or like, we thought she was, like, dumb or something,
Yeah.
and that was not the case at all.
No.
And she was, like, fine, and then all of a sudden she's, like, crying in the back seat, and we're like, What's wrong?
happened?
We're like, what happened? And then she, like, kind of told us, which was, thank God, because
Yeah.
I would have hated if she would have, like, not said anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we needed to fix that, like, right then and there. 'Cause
Yeah.
we love you. You're Amy.
I know.
Like, we do that all the time about Nicole, too.
I've seen it.
Too.
I have seen it. And then, of course, they're like, this is so you.
And, yeah, we explained, like, what it was. I can't even remember what she did.
I don't remember either.
It was something funny, but I can't remember what it was.
I think you were just talking about your child, honestly. I think it was something to do with
I
him.
don't know. It was something.
And then we did the look, and then you started crying, and we were like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay? And then she explained everything, and we were like, girl, no. Like, we love you.
Yeah. But could you imagine if that went the other way? Like,
It
that
would've
could have
been
caused
so
her to,
bad.
like, be in a really bad place if, like, all of a sudden we're just like, oh, no, yeah, we did that because, you know, of this.
Because we think you're a weirdo.
Right.
No.
I mean, it would have sucked, but it would have been another cutoff.
No.
No, I know. But, like, that's, like, literally, as of right now, like, I'm crying. Like, it's one of those things where it's, like, you don't realize how much damage has truly been done until, like,
Something
you're
like
in that
happens.
situation.
You don't realize how much damage, like, you as a person can do to somebody else with something so simple, depending on what their life is.
And it was just, like, it didn't stop at him. I mean, like, it was literally my whole class. Like, people hated me for no reason. Like, people used to tell me all the time how much they hated me or, like, this or that. And I'm like, why? Like, I would get these random people that I didn't even talk to. I would, like, not even know them. They would come up to me and they would just, like, make fun of me. And I'm like, who are you? Like, what? Like, who told you to say that? Like, why?
That's gross.
And, like, even the teachers, like, they were garbage. Like, the teachers were no help. Like, I had one teacher who all the time used to tell me that I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. Like, okay, haha, we know that, sure. But, like, you as an adult telling me this as a child is not funny.
Right.
Like, I know your personality isn't like that, but my personality, I would have turned into the biggest a-hole. People would have feared me.
Listen here, you know it, have an it.
And, like, that's just it. It's like, I would literally be like, what is happening? Like, it would make my head spin, because it would be like these people that I didn't even know, and it's like, what? Why?
Like, how are you even relevant to the situation?
I know, and then, like,
Who are
I would say something, and I'd be like, what even is this? And then they'd be like, oh, like, isn't that cute? She's trying to stand up for herself. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why are we even having this conversation? Like...
So, I feel like that definitely is something that needs to be talked about more. I know that it's been, like, more prominent in recent years as far as being talked about, but bullying and, like, being a cause of someone unaliving themselves is, it's very prominent.
It is bad now.
Especially with social media and how awful people can be on there. Like, I've been at the brunt of it for years. Years and years. Like, I used to have my profile and, like, my posts open for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't matter if we were friends or not. It didn't matter if you were a friend of a friend. You could be a random stranger and comment on my stuff. Well, that didn't last more than a couple years because my weight was the main thing that got brought up. But, like, really...
Why?
Really, if my weight is the only thing that you can comment on, or the fact that I had, like, some crazy color in my hair at some time, like, we all know I'm mentally ill. Tell me something different, please. Tell me something I haven't been told since I was, like, 10.
Right.
But, if my weight is the only thing that you can comment on, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. One more thing before we go to Jasmine. I think, honestly, we should probably do an episode on, like, all the stuff that happened in my childhood. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel like we could all get our own personal episode. But it's crazy, y'all. Like, these two know the story. Like, I've gone into detail with everything. Like, I didn't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Like, this, honestly, my family probably could have taken legal action for a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. They could have.
I won't get into it, but there was an instance where this person did try, and they drove past my house, and they didn't want me to see them driving, even though I already knew that it was them and it was their car. And so they literally ducked down, like, behind the dash, so they couldn't see. Well, so the car was just, like, going, and then the car literally almost ran right into my sister as she was getting into her vehicle to leave. And then luckily he popped right back up and took control of his car because he was swerving off of the road. And that's, like, one of many instances. So yeah, I'll hand it over to Jasmine, but yeah, it was crazy. I had a crazy ride.
I was gonna say, we spent, like, an entire knock shift talking about that
did.
when we still both worked for the same company.
Yeah, we did. It was wild. Like, there's so many times where I, like, just asked myself, like, how did I get through this? Because there was so many times where I did just want to end it, and I'm really glad that I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't, too.
Me too.
Y'all gonna make me cry again, stop, please.
I know. I know, I'm gonna make myself cry, but it really is worth it. Like,
Don't give up.
Don't give up, because it gets better.
And if you're someone like me who used to take, like, a lot of things to heart, let that go.
Stop being so serious. I've learned that.
Well, literally, like, what fun are you gonna have out of life if you're constantly living for other people? Live for yourself.
That's true.
Do what you want to do. Be yourself.
Yeah, find that
Be the authentic you, because that is so liberating.
Yes, find
So
your
freeing.
confidence.
It really
That helps a lot.
It really does get better.
And not gonna lie, you're still gonna have bad days. But
Oh.
there's more good than bad once you really just let it all go.
Exactly.
Yep, just don't make your life out to be like one big bad day all the time. It makes it hard.
Don't let the tears fool you. They're good tears.
Your turn.
I don't know if I have anything else to share, really. You guys kind of pretty covered everything.
Well,
Yeah.
take it from your perspective.
I kind of did. I just contributed. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have anything else.
Okay. Well,
I guess that'll be a wrap for this one then.
yeah.
So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to see more of us. It'll notify you every time we post a new video. You can find us at Boss Ravioli Queens on Facebook and TikTok. You can also email us, bossravioliqueens@gmail.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.